Hey guys, yes, we're in my bathroom, but I wanted to make a quick video about the stigma when it comes to pain meds for chronic pain patients. Because of the pandemic and the epidemic, I should say, of pain meds given out for I'm gonna just keep it real right now because I ain't got much time, but for not severe reasons, you're just handing them out when ibuprofen, Tylenol, stuff like that, Aleve, can all be a better effect. I've had 37 surgeries, and I can tell you that I barely had pain at the end of my surgery, and I have an inflammation disease. Actually, I have like a shit ton of inflammation diseases, but ibuprofen works beautifully with inflammation because you have inflammation pain. Pain meds don't really work with it. It just knocks you the frick out. Being somebody who has a chronic severe nerve everything, it's hard for so many people that have autoimmune disease like me to even get the help. They can't get any help whatsoever, and it's extremely frustrating. You know, I'm all over the place. I read everything. You guys know me. I go by facts. I go by all this crap, and I believe it's either CVS or Rite Aid, or it could be both as of right now. People have been arrested, pharmacist-wise, for, and don't quote me, this is allegedly, bro. One of them, quite a few people have been arrested for just taking pain meds and like having a huge quantity and just giving it out to whoever. Things like that is why it makes people like me have it hard as hell to get anything. There are so many people, and it's sad, I don't know how to say this in a non-blunt manner, so I'm gonna try. There are many people that, and I've been to that level, that you get so frustrated with the pain and you feel like your quality of life is just garbage, that people have took their own lives because of it. And you know, it's horrifying and upsetting because you could have got the help. And nobody's talking about taking fentanyl freaking patches, which I don't even know why they're on the market. I get for cancer patients, but other than that, I don't get it. And you guys gotta understand, prescribed, controlled fentanyl that is given to like cancer patients and like severe stuff is not the same thing as street drug. Just know that. It's not the same at all. I have never had it either way. I would never want to. I would never. Like, pain meds that I take are a super low dosage. And I never expect that my pain will always be gone fully. But I want to have a better quality of life. Like, my nerve pain, bro, when you have peripheral nerve disease, the hardcore nerves that are up in your organs, your everything, blah, blah, blah. I have small fiber neuropathy, and it is the most severe chronic pain I have felt in my entire life. Like, my gallbladder exploded, and I handled that better than I do my nerve pain. I shit you not. And it's frustrating because it's like we go to doctors, we go to them, we listen to them, we trust them, we do all that. In my terminology, they do us dirty. Because they don't think of our best interest. They're just looking at his paper. They didn't even look at our fucking file. They just go on, and then they just go about their day thinking that we're drug seekers. We want to have a quality of life seekers. I don't care what you want to try at first. Unfortunately, I have too many freaking diseases. I have diffuse scleroderma, which is rare. Honestly, more people have it now than I've ever seen it happen. Probably because I think there's a little bit more knowledge, but again, it's rare. And then you have neuromyelitis optica. And I explain it to people like, they're like, what is that? I'm like, it's MS on crack. Like, it's in an 8-ball, and that is neuromyelitis optica. It is ultra rare, and that was about my luck. No kidding. I'm going to tell you guys a quick, brief story. When I first met Dr. Shapiro, which was years ago, my rheumatologist, he's like, Heather, you know, first day I met him, he was like, it's like you have MS, but it's not MS, and I can't figure it out. And that sentence has stuck in my brain for years. So as I research and help other people, I really put myself at the back burner. So I did some research. Now I have optic nerve drusen, and I've had it since birth, basically, but nobody knew about it until my mid-20s. I knew I had can't see my hands, like no peripheral vision. And I thought it was normal. Like, who sits down and says, hey, can you see this? Nobody. Nobody does unless it gets bad and you're like, bruh, how come you can see that and I can't? Maybe you should see, I gotta see a doctor. So I saw the MS clinic, which the guy was a duty head, we'll put that in plain sight. He knew the results of the test and never told me. He hid it at all. So let me tell you, I got off my old neurologist who is afraid to touch my case because he's afraid he might kill me. And I don't blame him. I really don't. I might have to take you guys on a little journey because I'm still making dinner, boo-boo. It's apples with pork, pork loin. Holy shit, well, hold on, I'm gonna pause that. Oh yeah, I think that's done. I'm making Thomas buttered Parmesan noodles because he doesn't like stuffing. Anyway, moving along. Where was I? Yeah, so I got a whole Dr. Cummings, like, hey, do you mind doing some tests for me? He's like, sure, what's up? I'm like, can you do neuromyelitis optica? He's like, it's a simple blood test. Sorry, that's my oldest son, he's loud. He's like, all right, just go get the blood test done. He gets a hold of me 2 weeks later, calls me up and goes, Heather, we need to have a conversation. And I was like, I'm positive, ain't I? He goes, you are so positive that you are beyond the chart. And I'm like, oh, well, that's why my back sucks. So neuromyelitis optica is the spine and the optic nerve. Explains why I'm blind. And explains why my back is, and I quote my back pain management doctor, a 90-year-old that worked like 80 years in the construction business, and that's the back. What's funny is disability, my autoimmune didn't put me on disability. Because you can have autoimmune disease, it doesn't mean you're disabled. My back is what did it. When they saw my back, the federal judge was like, girl, you should have been approved right off the bat. Your back is bad. Like, why did they make you wait 2 years, go through federal, like, it should have been approved right off the bat. I was like, I don't know, bro. I just don't know. Hold on, guys, I'll be back. Alright, guys, sorry. I'm back. I would have freaking do dinner, and we ate and stuff. Don't know where I was at in this, but the stigma of people who need it to get pain meds needs to stop. Because think about it. If you're in a flare, if you're in horrible pain, it doesn't matter whether it's nerve, bone, whatever pain it is, for people with actual diseases and facts to prove that they can actually need it and use it, we need to be able to get it because it's causing us so much frustration and stress that when you get depressed, when you get anxious, it actually messes and causes more pain on you. That's why when people say, Heather, why are you so positive and why do you keep going? I mean, after all that you've been through with 37 surgeries and 46 pulmonary embolisms in one shot and all this other crap, how do you not lose hope? And I have my bad days, but I look at it this way. I've been to the point when I first started getting diagnosed with things, I got heavily depressed, and it made my pain by far the most hardcore shit I've ever felt, where I was suicidal. And I know that when you lay around and do nothing and you don't keep your body moving, and when you're also depressed, it can actually amplify your pain more. So why would I do that if I have the answers of what I could do? Walking is essentially, I'm not telling you to go hit the gym and go lift weights and do that shit, even though it's probably beneficial. But you got to keep the joints moving and lubricated. You know, if you don't move, you get muscle dystrophy, where your muscles die. Which is fucking painful, by the way. Been there too many times. When you sit there and do nothing, you stiffen up, and it's harder, especially people with RA, you know, which is rheumatoid arthritis, you know, osteoporosis, stuff like that. But osteoporosis is not going to get you pain meds. Osteoarthritis is not going to get you pain meds, because that can be done with inflammation meds. Like, I'm also on sulfasalazine. Sulfasalazine is one of the most better meds I've ever been on in my life. I had such severe inflammation in my body that it says it takes, just like Plaquenil, it takes up to 3 months to work. It worked within a couple of weeks. My stats dropped within a month. Everything was fucking gorgeous. So it's finding the best med. I'm tired of autoimmune doctors pushing Plaquenil. There's other meds besides Plaquenil. Plaquenil just ruined my GI system. I literally lost like a shit ton of weight because of it, because I was in so much pain. It's not for everybody. And yes, that's the same med that they were treating with COVID, and a lot of autoimmune patients weren't able to get their meds because of COVID, which screwed them up. People died. It was awful. I'm tired of autoimmune patients not being listened to. I would love if all doctors in this freaking free world would listen to their patients. Not all patients have Mirror syndrome. Not all patients are hypochondriacs. Not all patients are any of that. There's proof and evidence that your patient's going through some shit. Have a little freaking empathy. I am tired of doctors just blowing me off all the damn time, like my primary. 7 years I've been with her. And even when my gallbladder, I was like, dude, I'm getting pain. You're supposed to get a sonogram. No, she didn't do it. She's like, oh, you have IBS, you're fine. My gallbladder exploded. and somebody else had to fix it in a different area. It was a whole big freaking mess. I almost died. Like, literally was very close to death. 46 pulmonary embolisms. I kept telling her, I'm like, my legs are swollen, bro. They are super freaking heavy. I feel like I can't walk. I'm tripping over everything. My arch is so blown out that I feel like I'm walking on a bubble and I'm on a boat. We need to do something. Oh, Heather, it's your anxiety. It's all in your head. Blah, 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 blah. 46 pulmonary embolisms. You know what she said to me? Because I saw her 3 days before I actually went through all that shit, was hospitalized. She was like, oh, I had a feeling. If you had a feeling, shouldn't you have done testing? Like, the only reason why people thought that she was a great, she's not even a doctor, a physician assistant, is that she over-tested. She over-tested. She didn't guess what anything was ever. She over-tested. Why didn't you over-test with me? I'm tired of her gaslighting the shit out of me and just being like, oh, it's your anxiety. Oh, it's, you know, your whatever the frick it is mentally. She blames everything mental and ignoring the physical because all she saw was weight gain. I don't know if she has a problem with like an eating disorder. I don't know. But she ignored all my deadly shit. Like my blood pressure was always massively low my whole life. During that time period for the year, it was 160 or higher over 80 or higher. In her notes, she says, please review and check on her blood pressure. She never did. So for a year I saw her, she knew my blood pressure was through the roof. Never once investigated to see what was up. You know, I always tell people, and it's a good thing and a bad thing, don't tell people when you have anxiety or depression, because they're going to use it against you. So when you actually have medical issues, they're going to blame it on that. But medical issues can actually cause anxiety and depression. So, I mean, like, this topic is a really long topic for me to talk about, and I don't want to chew your guys' ears off. But I keep almost dying because my doctor blames everything on mental shit. Because I have generalized anxiety disorder. Or because I have an autoimmune disease. She's like, oh, it's probably this disease, you're in a flare-up. Flare-up for your boo-boo? No. It's something else. My legs have never been weighted like this. It felt like a 400-pound dude was just putting pressure on me. I went from being skinny and normal, like my whole life, same body type, to now being overweight because I couldn't exercise because my heart rate and my lungs couldn't even handle any exercise. It was brutal what I went through. But the amount of pain I endured. She never once apologized to me, by the way. She never said, sorry, I was just not educated in this topic, blah, 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 blah. Nope. She never apologized for shit. Even when she took me off my PTSD meds, right after I got diagnosed with PTSD, another one, and she was like, oh, it's because you're gaining weight, we need to take you off of it. I was almost suicidal this summer. Tracy, the nurse, called me immediately. Mallory never spoke to me once about it. She never once apologized. Nothing. My therapist told her, dude, stop taking her off the meds. She needs it. She's gone through a lot. Stop. I'd rather her be happy and a little pudgy than freaking super skinny and dead. So if you can just have a little, it's my whole thing though. Bedside manner with doctors, some of them are trash. Like, doctors that I've seen is my autoimmune doctor. He's absolutely amazing. And he's so educational. It's like you work as an actual team. It feels great. My old neurologist, who doesn't want to handle my case because it is hardcore. All the doctors that are world-renowned doctors have said they've never seen a case like mine. Well, that makes two of us, boo-boo, so I don't know what to tell you. But he was always super sweet and caring. My back pain management doctor, he's a freaking angel. All my other doctors, shit. They have no empathy. They're like robots. And I'm like, why are you in this field if you don't give a shit about people? But that's what bothers me. People who need pain meds. People who need help. Like, they'll shove gabapentin down everybody's throat. Meanwhile, if you do the research on gabapentin, it's actually super uber dangerous. It is extremely addictive to anybody, even if you don't have an addictive personality. It's super addictive. And I mean, you don't have to be mentally addicted to something. You could be physically. Your body's used to it. Say if you drink caffeine, you stop caffeine, you get migraines. Everybody's body likes sugar. Everything. You can be addicted to anything. Your body, when it gets used to it, it becomes addicted. And it doesn't mean you're an addict. It just means your body's used to it, and now it has to go through withdrawals to get undone. But even family I know that try to get off gabapentin were hospitalized. It is so dangerous. I tell people to avoid it. So I'm on Lyrica. Lyrica is a better medication. And I keep warning people. People are like, oh, well, the side effects bother me. But that's your body getting used to it. They're not permanent. And, you know, I'm glad a doctor once told me this. I always thought side effects were like almost like allergies, or it's going to keep happening and stop the med. They never said, Heather, it takes 2 to 3 weeks for your body to get used to it. The side effects will get less and less every day, and things will be better and you can stay on the med. No one told me that until they told me that. So when you take a medication, unless it's like the severe risks and all that stuff, the normal side effects, the average ones that everybody gets, do not sweat. It'll be over soon. Your body, I'd rather go through 2 to 3 weeks of annoying side effects than have years and years of no pain help. And Lyrica has been a damn angel to me. At one point, when I was first starting all this, I wasn't even able to talk to my kids. I would cry from the pain. I can't even explain it to you. It felt like the most painful electricity from evil hell was just running through me, and it was so, like, you couldn't even touch me. It just fucking hurt. I couldn't even shower much because the pain from the water hitting me. That's how brutal my nerve diseases are. So without Lyrica, I definitely wouldn't be here. But people shove other shit down people's throat. They give people that have had surgeries, like small surgeries, they're fine in a couple days. No big deal, like a shit ton of pain meds. But people who actually have bad diseases and are probably going to die from the diseases. It's all about palliative care. I want a good quality of life. And while I'm still here, no matter how much time I got left, I want to be able to be in less pain. And like I said, my pain meds are small dosage. I don't take anything big. I wouldn't anyway. I always make sure I drink. I have a 32-ounce tumblers. Actually, I have many of them. And I drink about 4 to 5 of them a day. You're supposed to stay hydrated. Every human being, if you take your weight, divide it by 2, that's how many ounces of water a day you're supposed to be drinking. So, food for thought. Your body needs it. Your organs need it. Drink water. So many people don't drink water. And I'm like, how? Like, I used to drink soda a lot of my life. I quit my soda automatically. Drank water only. I mean, there's so many options now of flavoring. I use the Weiler strawberry lemonade. Oh my god, it's heavenly. And it doesn't even give me heartburn, which amen to that. But there needs to be stuff, better stuff, better help for people who actually need pain meds. Who actually do. Like, when I'm not in a flare-up, I do like way less pain meds. When I'm in a flare-up, I do more. So I take myself down and I can put myself back up, blah, 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 blah. They know I'm not an addict. They know I'm not whatever. There's times where the first month after I was diagnosed with pulmonary embolisms, a lot of my pain went away before another flare-up happened, and I barely could remember to take them. But sometimes people need them. Like, I don't understand it, because other people are addicts, or, you know, they're giving it to surgery. They should be, unless it's like heart surgery, shit like that, nobody should be getting pain meds after surgery, because the surgery was kind of fixed. You know, the problem was fixed with the surgery. Yes, you get inflammation pain. Depends. My husband got his one part of his knee done or whatever, and it was really just the inflammation pain. They gave him pain meds, but I got rid of them because addictive personality. But he tried ibuprofen. He said it works a hell of a lot better anyway. And it does. When you have inflammation pain, because, you know, they cut you open, move shit around, and do all that, you need an anti-inflammatory. You can ask for an anti-inflammatory shot. They can give you prednisone for like 3 to 5 days. That'll keep the inflammation down. It's godly when it works. Yeah, there's side effects to it, but for 3 to 5 days, you're not going to have much at all. Like, none. There are things you can do to take steps when it comes to surgery. Like, every surgery I've ever had, nobody's ever given me pain meds. I don't want it. Like, you fix the problem, I'll be good. I'll suck it up and deal with it. But, I mean, if there's major... Like, I had organ surgery, but they only gave me pain meds in the hospital, and when I went home, they didn't give me any. Which is how it should be. In New York, it's pretty strict. But for people who need it, cancer patients, not all autoimmune patients need it. Just like when people say, oh, because I have scleroderma, Heather, does that mean I can get disability? No. No. To get Social Security disability, you need a disability. The autoimmune disease is not the disability. It could be the damage from the autoimmune disease. So like me, my back is a shit show. I have 11 slip discs. I have mostly the cartilage tossed and gone. I have, oh, I forgot all the names of it. I have a bunch of diseases in my back. Plus I have a huge major autoimmune disease. I also have lesions going all the way up and down my spine and my brain. Like, it's a mess. You have to have proof of permanent damage or destroying of whatever nature. Your doctor has to fill out paperwork. They have to tell, hey, they're disabled, let them be, blah, blah, blah. You need proof. An autoimmune disease, the title of an autoimmune disease is not going to get you there. So if, say you're beginning stages, you won't have much going on. But say the middle to the end, you know, of having the autoimmune disease, it can cause absolutely permanent damage. But it all depends. But a lot of people get that misconception thinking they can go on disability just because they have an autoimmune. That is not the case, guys. Not at all. I mean, look at Selena Gomez and her having lupus. That girl works her ass off. I'm sure she has a ton of bad days and flare-ups and all of that stuff. And she does infusions to help during her flare-ups, just like a lot of people do. Unfortunately, because I have too many diseases, and you can't pick and choose the disease you're treating. Whatever you're putting in your body is going to treat them all. And two of my diseases actually get bad effects from that medication, so I can't be on it. That's why it's really palliative care at this point. There's not much anybody can help me with, but just because you have an autoimmune disease doesn't mean you get pain meds, and doesn't mean you get SSI or SSDI. So a lot of people get that misconception. I wanted to put that out there. Your doctors have to back you up that you're disabled. They need to have MRIs, X-rays, CTs, blood work, whatever it is to prove that you're disabled. They need all that. And yeah. But I do think doctors, PAs, nurse practitioners, some of them need to get better. There's some that are great, but some of them have really bad bedside manner. They're rude, they're disrespectful. They don't listen to what we say. They don't hear us out. I feel like I'm better off talking to a freaking damn wall. I'm tired of risking my life trusting somebody who has no trust in helping me and having my back. So there's a lot of snakes in the medical field, but every single profession's like that. But unfortunately, medical field, they have a license to kill. That's what I always say. And you have to really be your best own advocate to fight that shit. But pain meds should not just be given for everything. Even dentists, most of them don't do that anymore. For extractions and stuff, I don't know anybody who was given pain meds except for maybe 2 people. Other than that, it was a high dosage, 800 milligrams of ibuprofen. Because it's the inflammation pain. Pain meds aren't going to help. I have pain meds. It didn't help shit for extractions. I did ibuprofen. And I'm allergic to it too, so I had to take an allergy shot and a couple Benadryls every time I did it. So I could just have mild effects. But it's a godsend. Inflammation pain needs to be treated with inflammation pain. But I'm sure I'm not the only one, guys. Type down below what the situation you're going through, and if you can get help, if you can't get help, what your medical plan is, you know, your opinion on anything I just said. And I'm just basing it off my experience, what I've seen and what I go through. And I would say the medical field has jaded the shit out of me. Where I used to be able to trust, now I don't. I've almost died and brought back more times than I'd like that anybody should go through. And it was all done by one main doctor who was very uneducated and acted like they were better and they know everything, when it turns out, foot in the mouth, boom, you fucked up and almost killed me. Doctors, give a shit about your chronic pain patients. And I don't mean, you know, minor chronic pain. I don't mean any of that. I mean actually severe, shown by an EMG, shown by whatever, that you have severe chronic pain. Because most chronic pain is normally in flares or season triggered, or say you get into an accident, or say you trip and fall. Like, there's always triggers to make it worse. But normally doctors would want to try everything first before they go the pain med route. And I respect and get that. But when you have people that are dying, or they're probably going to die in a couple of years from their autoimmune or whatever, I don't understand why you can't help. You can only, like, if you studied these diseases, you would know how extraordinarily painful it is. So I think there needs to be better help for people with autoimmune diseases. I see so many people in support groups suffer. And if I could help, I would. And all I could do is be my best own advocate and me speak up. And maybe doctors come across this video one day, or they hear us, because our voice should matter. It's our body, our minds, our choice. Please listen to us. Please respect us. Treat your patients the way you would want to be treated as a patient. Ask yourself that.